Hello and welcome everyone to the week ahead commodity report, where we of course will be reviewing the markets for the week ahead. As we head into the final week of April and into a new month of the second quarter, rapidly surging global inflation, rate hikes and geopolitical risk, they are now emerging as the three major themes dominating and driving the financial markets. This in return continues to present savvy traders with an endless flow of back-to-back profitable opportunities to generate huge profits fast. It is becoming very evident day to day that central banks across the world, they are fighting a losing battle against red-hot inflation, and no matter what action they take now, it will be nowhere enough to tame ever-rising inflationary pressures. This second quarter has been monumental for monetary policy as governments and central bankers across the world, they ramp up the fight against scorching inflation whilst acknowledging that inflationary pressures could persist for years, driven in part by the ongoing crisis in Ukraine. Looking back through the whole of 2021, Fed Chair Jerome Powell played down the biggest year-on-year rise in inflation seen in more than 4 decades, characterizing the record spike as transitory, which inevitably will always be remembered as the worst inflation call in the history of the Federal Reserve. Fast forward to today, inflation is running at a 41-year high and still rapidly accelerating. If inflation continues to surge at the current pace, then we're only months away from a return to double-digit inflation in the same scale last seen in the 1970s. To regain its credibility, the Federal Reserve must be seen to move aggressively on rate hikes, which ultimately means stagflation is now a major risk to the economy in the second half of the year, or worse still, a recession. As traders very well know, monetary policy is a blunt instrument not capable of surgical precision. Historically, the Federal Reserve has never been right on monetary policy and has a proven track record of setting the economy up for an even bigger crisis. 11 of the last 14 Fed tightening cycles since World War II have been followed by a recession within the next 12 months. Traders are convinced this time it won't be any different. Only time will tell. However, one thing we know for certain is that the US dollar and equity markets, they tend to lose momentum once the Fed begins its tightening cycle. This inversely presents huge bullish tailwinds for the entire commodity sector, ranging from the metals to the energies to soft commodities, as they are viewed as one of the most reliable hedges against risk, inflation and economic shock. Weighing on all of those fundamental factors, along with the largest war on European soil for almost 80 years, and the return of the coronavirus to China once again threatens global supply chains, amplifying massive upward momentum and adding further fuel to the commodity supercycle, positioning commodities as one of the most lucrative asset classes of this year, if not this decade. Already within the first 4 months of 2022, a total of 27 commodities ranging from the metals to the energies to soft commodities, they've already tallied up astronomical double to triple digit gains, and this is just the beginning. The previous 2 super cycles, they took place in the 1970s and the 2000s. In both cases, the commodity sector resembled the identical trend as it's displaying again right now. If history is anything to go by, then the stage is almost certainly set for commodity prices to skyrocket and reach new all-time highs in the months ahead. To quote Goldman Sachs, they've never seen the commodity markets this bullish before. If you've been kicking yourself for missing out on some of the biggest trading opportunities so far this year, and you still want to make 2022 your best year yet, then right now is the time to take action. 2022 is going to be a record-shattering year for commodities, and the first 4 months of the year, they have already been a taste of what is yet to come. If you want to take advantage of these extraordinary markets and huge money-making potential on offer, then there's no better time than right now. Trust me, these markets, they won't wait for you. Looking ahead, more big moves could be on the horizon next week, with inflation continuing to dominate and driving the markets. The biggest macro events that traders will not want to miss out on is the Federal Reserve's favorite measure of inflation, personal consumption expenditures data. That reading is expected to top forecast again for another straight month in a row. Another strong reading could force the Federal Reserve to hike rates aggressively by 50 to 75 basis points when officials convene for their next policy meeting on May the 4th and 5th. Also on the radar next week will be the closely watched US GDP data release, which always has the potential to move the market significantly. So with that, let's move over to the charts and we'll talk you through exactly what we're looking at here as we head into a new week. So first of all, exactly as we discussed with you last week, to expect outflows after the Easter break. In fact, we took the opportunity at the beginning of last week to bank a windfall amount of profits on gold when it broke out just under 2,000 US dollars per ounce. We banked, in fact, over 2,000 points last week across our metals trades. So with that, for every one lot contract that you'll be trading, that's $20,000 of profit. For every 10 lot contract that you'll be trading, that's $200,000 of profit. So we took profit off the table on the spike higher on Monday when gold broke out to 1,993 US dollars per ounce. But all of this we talked you through the previous week as well, to expect the run up in price on the metals and energies in the lead up to the Easter break. Lots of optimism in the market, but then afterwards expect outflows and expect this to continue once you get to the end of the month, the end of April as well. We've seen exactly that. So gold prices, they've dropped just under 3% in the last week, ultimately setting up for some much better opportunities to sniper in. Silver prices in the last week, they've dropped 6.5% to the downside here. We've also seen similar moves on platinum, breaking down 7.6% in the last week, and copper as well, breaking down 3.5%. As long as you're aware of all of this ahead of time, you can capitalize massively and just take advantage of the volatility right now. Commodities, they don't move up in a straight line. They will zigzag. Therefore, you want to constantly lock in profits on the breakouts towards the swing highs. Make sure you're regularly banking into strength. Then you can sniper in on the sell-offs by catching the right point of the cycle. We've talked you through this in detail over the last week. If you missed our reports last week, go back and watch Tuesday's report, Thursday's report. We talked you through this to expect outflows after the Easter break and then into the end of April as well. So this will be the same going to the final week next week too. I would expect the potential for consolidation or more pressure to the downside before then setting up for buy opportunities as we head into the month of May. And we also have the FOMC statement in the first week of May as well, which will dictate the overall trend throughout the rest of the month into May too. So some big opportunities will be coming up. So first of all, if we have a look at silver here, we've broken back down towards the swing lows of $24.14 per ounce. So silver at these prices, I would be interested if we do break down further sub $24 per ounce. Very similar on gold as well. I'm interested if we come down and grab the liquidity from the recent swing lows here as well, going back towards the middle of March. So if we get a break back down towards the 1900s or sub 1900s, these are zones that are very much of interest for gold as we go into next week. If we move over to energies as well, as you know, we've continued to capitalize on these V-shaped reversals, these quick 3-day impulse moves. We capitalized on the last one just a couple of weeks ago, banking over 1,000 points in just 3 days on energies by buying back in at $94 a barrel just over a week ago, in fact, and then banking within 3 days over 1,000 points on both Brent and WTI crude oil. Now we're a bit mid-range at the moment, but holding above $100 per barrel for crude oil right now. Again, if we drop sub $100 per barrel, if we make our way back down towards the recent swing lows of $95 or $90 per barrel, these are certainly zones of interest, particularly if we get further outflows and profit taking at the end of the month next week before we then see fresh capital come back in as we move into a new month, into the month of May. As we enter a new economic climate, the importance of having an essential income generating skill like trading, that has become a must-have necessity if you want to actually reach your long-term financial goals in these rapidly changing markets. Then you can't just stockpile cash in a savings account, because rapidly surging global inflation, that will erode your wealth and purchasing power. Instead, you need to make your money work as hard for you as you've worked hard for it. With that said, there's no surprise that commodities, they have firmly positioned themselves as one of the most exciting and liquid asset classes, which continue to present savvy traders with unlimited opportunities to generate huge profits fast. Extraordinary times, they do create extraordinary opportunities. Right now, these markets are a trader's paradise. Banks, hedge funds, they're making multi-billions capitalizing on the super cycle, and it's not so different for the retail market. The majority of our clients at the Gold and Silver Club, utilizing our proprietary research-driven trading approach, they've already made in excess of 6 and 7 figures so far this year, and we still have another 8 months left to go. If you've been kicking yourself for missing out on some of the biggest trading opportunities so far this year, and you still want to make 2022 your best year yet, then you still have time if you take action now. We are seeing one of the greatest wealth transfers ever in history. The time to start making money in this commodity supercycle, that is right now. One of the biggest obstacles that holds 95% of retail traders back from achieving their desired success, it's not having access to professional strategies and institutional level data and market intelligence to make confident decisions with accuracy in these highly profitable markets. If you follow the wrong strategy, or worse still, if you lack access to the right data at the right time, you will end up wasting lots of time, money and effort and have no results to show for all of your hard work. If you want to thrive, not just survive in these highly macro-driven markets, then you need to adapt and utilize a professional, research-driven approach. Having access to the right data at the right time, it is the single greatest difference between ordinary and extraordinary results. Trading like every other misguided retail trader out there, using outdated technical analysis or gimmicky technical indicators, that will not work. As traders, we have a superior advantage to capitalize on every highly lucrative move fast, no matter if the markets trade up, down or sideways. You need to know exactly when to buy, when to sell, but also more importantly, which asset class to focus on and when. The greater your data and intelligence, the greater your edge in navigating these fast moving markets with superior levels of precision, confidence and profitability. We still have another 8 months left to go of this year. Never underestimate what you can achieve in the next few months from now with the right guidance and mentorship. You can always give people the right skills, knowledge and strategies to transform their financial future. One thing you can't give them back is the time they have lost. Time is the most valuable commodity we have. Make sure that you don't waste it. If you want us to help you achieve the same level of wealth and success as our clients at the Gold and Silver Club, then there is an opportunity for you to join our professional mentorship program. As a member, you get access to our exclusive live trading room webinars. You get access to real-time trade ideas, institutional research and market intelligence, access to our private members academy website, and also support and one-to-one mentoring. For more information, just go to www.jointhelivetradingroom.com. The link is also below this report in the description, so just click on the link, make an application, and we will of course get in touch with you ASAP.